Okay, hi everyone. Thanks, and we are really appreciated because you spend your time with us to join our today's webinar. Today's webinar is Discover Minitab Workspace. Okay, I'm Nausulawati. I'm Technical Support Specialist at Visit System. Visit System are independent local representation for Minitab product and training for Malaysia, Singapore and Batam, Indonesia. Okay, Minitab Workspace is separated software from our flagship product, Minitab Statistical Software, but it once one of the Minitab product. Okay, for those are familiar with our other software companion, where another product of Minitab. Minitab Workspace is a new branding for desktop version of companion. Okay, so I want to stress here, this one is not the inside the Minitab statistical software, but it's separated from that, but it one of our new product. We call it Minitab Workspace. Okay, before we get started, there are a few housekeeping items to take note. If you have question during presentation, please type them into the question box in your control panel. You may send any time throughout the presentation, but I will address them during Q&A session at the end of our webinar. Kindly ensure that you have connected to the audio via your speakers, computer speakers, and then please fill out our survey before you exit the tab. This survey will help us to improve the quality of our upcoming webinar. For your information, this webinar will be recorded and therefore it will be set listen only mode to avoid interruption to the audio recording. The recording will be accessible anytime later on our website www.bizits.com, or you may subscribe to our YouTube channel, Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. Okay, so our agenda today, we try go through what is a Minitab Workspace, and then maybe we explore Minitab Workspace with the process map, where is we start our process, what is the activity or step in between the process, and then we ended our process, and then we go for the another tools inside the Minitab Workspace. We call it Brainstorm tools, where we want to identify all potential input or causes with the brainstorming tools. After identify the potential input, to help prioritize input that have greatest impact on your problem, maybe we work with the form. For today's session, I just proceed with the cause and effect diagram, cause and effect form, or maybe these stages, maybe you can use other tools like FMEA. Okay, and then if you are coming from data analyzer, as we know, the higher level of an analytic is a prescriptive. So where in prescriptive we need have a do simulation part. So for our Minitab product, we have Monte Carlo simulation in Minitab Workspace. And then others new tools we added for Minitab Workspace, and then we go for the summary. Okay. So basically, Minitab Workspace is, we call it visual tools for better business productivity. The comprehensive tool of in Minitab Workspace enable to visualize, analyze, and prioritize that drive us understanding of complex initiative, and then create value across various teams in your organization. So inside the Minitab Workspace, we have include 90 tools, okay, more than 19, and then we have let's say functional visual tools, and then you can see we have a data sharing between the tools, and then inside the project we have a roadmap if you needed them. Basically is something like you want to do the DMIC uh, project. So inside there, we already have a, let's say, roadmap. What is the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So inside there, we have a roadmap also in the workspace. Okay. So just a remind again, this one is a visual tools, so something like you have, if let's say you are coming from the lean background, you are familiar with the FMEA, with lead time, cycle time, VSM. So all that form we have inside the Minitab Workspace. Okay, so this one is example of the 90 tools. So, okay, for example, you are coming from the process improvement. Maybe you are familiar with the fishbone diagram. We have a process map. We have a CN metric. Okay, we have a SIPOC, supplier input, process output, and control. Okay, and then you have a Pareto chart. Okay, if let's say you are lean, maybe you are familiar with the VSM. So we have a 5S audit, we have combine, okay, we have a comparison, okay, and then we have a cycle time bar chart. And then for if coming from the product development, maybe you are familiar with the Kano models, advice of customer planning, SWOT analysis, your strength, your weakness, your opportunity, your tricks. And then maybe you are familiar with the house of quality. Okay, so we have that kind of the form inside there. So we also have a decision making, let's say a pairwise comparison. Okay, for the project management, maybe you want to create the something like Gantt chart. Okay, you do the RASI, or you are coming from the root causes analysis. Maybe you are familiar with the idea map, 5Y, okay, 4S, and then 8P. Okay, so inside Minitab Workspace, we have all these tools. Okay, so I think I go directly to that tools first. Okay, so what I mentioned, so we have let's say this one is the Minitab Workspace. Okay, something like we have a menu button, something like that one. Okay, so this one is example. Let's say you want to do the process map. Okay, CNE metric. Okay, your VSM. Okay, we already have here. Okay, so you can see that, and then you can manipulate all this one. Okay, for example, you are coming from the lean, maybe you are 5S, you're familiar with the 5S. So we have a form that 5S here. Okay, so this one is example how the tools inside the Minitab workspace. Okay, so I go back for this one. Okay, so I think I go the first basic one. Okay, let's say you all open your Minitab workspace. Okay, you open your Minitab workspace. Okay, the first thing, the first interface you face it this one. For example, here we have a new, or you have a open. So let's say it's a new one. So you go for the new. So you can see that here is a tools. Here is a project. Okay, so inside the tools, inside the project, you can see that. Sorry. Cover. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, now you can see my screen. Sorry. Okay. So now is it you can see my screen? Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry for that thing. So I think I already cover for agenda today's, and then the first one is here. Okay, so we have this kind of the tools. Okay, so this one we already, I think I go back to this one. Okay, so inside the process map, for example, for process map, okay, see any metric, okay, so this one we have all this one, okay, inside the Minitab Workspace, okay, inside the Minitab Workspace. Okay, it's, let's say you are first time, once you launch your Minitab Workspace, you can see that we have a two option, whether you want to proceed with the tools. For example, it's process map, Monte Carlo simulation, VSM, and then all that thing, or you want to proceed with the project. Let's say you want to run DMIC project, or you want to do it like just do it project. But I go first for the create a tools. Okay, for example, I want to create the process map. So I just go for the process map. This one is the short list. If let's say you want to see all the tools inside there, you go for the show full list of the tools. So they will give it you all the tools, or maybe you are familiar, you just typing what you want to do. Okay, what you want. Okay, so they will give it you process map, what kind of the process map you want. Okay, so I just proceed with the process map flowchart. Okay, just proceed to open this one. Okay, so once you launch these tools, you can see that we have a file. Okay, so inside the file we have this kind of that one. We explain after this. Okay, after we go for the project first, and then we have a home, we have an insert. So if let's say you go for the insert one, you can see that we have let's something like related document. If let's say you have another link, or you have already have a Minitab project file, you can attach together inside the Minitab Workspace. And then we have form or tools. So inside the tools form, and then we have mapping tools. Okay, let's say you want to proceed with the process map, or you want to proceed with the VSM. And then we have a brainstorming tools. Let's say you have a fishbone diagram, you have an idea map, okay, or you want to go for the city tree. And then we have another tool is simulation. So for example, for Minitab Workspace, actually you have a tools inside there, you have a maps inside there, you have brainstorm, and then you have a simulation part. Okay, so we have this one. So inside form, you can see that, so let's say you can see that all this one, so 5D, okay, you can go for the CNN metric and so on. So that these tools we consider as a form. Okay, and then we have the process map. So this one is process map. Okay, what kind of process map? And then we have a brainstorm tools. Okay, let's say fishbone diagram. Okay, so this kind of the type of a fishbone diagram. And then we have a simulation tools. Okay, so if let's say we proceed with the process map, okay, you can see that here is a project as added tools. Okay, so you can see that added tools, maybe you can add here. For example, I go proceed with the CN metric. Okay, metric. Okay, so here is create CN metric. So they provide the kind of the CN metric form. So you just proceed with the full fill up all these criteria. Okay, so you can add another tools. Maybe you proceed with the fishbone. Okay, maybe you go for fishbone. So you create the fishbone one. Okay, so this one is what is we call it the workspace. Okay. Okay, so this one is, let's say you open as the tools, and then we have option also if let's say you open as a project, or we call it roadmap. So for example, I go for the DMIC project. So you click here and then so you open the new project. Okay, so this one is we call it the roadmap because we have already, let's say, define, we have a measure, analyze, and then we have improve, and then we have a control. So inside every passes, you can add, you can delete. Okay, so never mind if let's say you don't want starting with the CTQ. Okay, you just want to proceed with the process map, so you just proceed with the process map. We just give it the roadmap. Okay, so roadmap like define, so no need to create by yourself. Okay, you can see that we have two options, whether you want to choose those or you want to choose as the project inside the Minitab Workspace. Okay, so let's say project we have advanced data. Let's say project today, what is the project today you need include. Okay, so project charter, this one is the basic one if you are want to do the MIC. Okay, and then you have a financial data set. Okay, so you need have this kind of the include all the monthly finalist savings. So all this one also can customize again. Okay, so I will show after this. Okay, I think it's a clear. We have a tools, we have the project. Okay, so today I just want to proceed with the tools. We starting with the project map. Okay, so I choose the project map. So as we know in the project map, okay, so in the project map we started with the this one. Okay, so this one is start our project. For example, have here receive it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, whether you want to drag or just proceed with this kind of the step. Okay, example here is enter or this is, or you want to see that this one you can add. Okay, so let's say, so next one is the option. Okay, so decision. Okay, whether is one problem is that, so contact customer, and then sorry, you can delete. Okay, so if let's say you're not satisfied, we can delete one. Okay, this one is the problem. Okay, so this one is a deletion. Maybe you have another one. Okay, so we have, let's say is you drag. Okay, you can see that this one. So if let's say you want to drag, you make sure that they highlight with the green color. So is it okay? And then never mind if let's say this one you can customize. Okay, this one is, let's say you want to do alignment. Okay, you just select all alignment center. So maybe this one. Okay, or you want to, let's say this one is you want to focus, consider that this process is more important here. So right click and then maybe you go for the formatting. Let's say you want to go for the fill. Okay, okay, so maybe you want to go for the fill side. So you just go where your process and then right click. So you see that you can see all this one, maybe the shape. Okay, shape data. Okay, I will show after this. So inside the process, maybe we have something like input or output. For example, here I have considered that this one, I have input one. So you go for here, okay, the pane here. So new, I put here is credit card. Credit card and click OK. Okay, you can see that when I include here, okay, another one is the email address. Okay. So I have also the Y, our output here. Okay, so you go for the output variables, new. Then here is the confirmation order. Okay. Okay, so they appear here because this one is important. After this, let's say you want to do the CN metric or you want to do the fishbone diagram, you can import back all this input and your output into other stores. That's why we call it that in Workspace, we have a data sharing. I will show after this. Okay, so for example, also you need to insert the department. So every step of the process here may be coming from different department. So you just go for the insert. You can so insert whether above or below or between. Okay, so for example here, so you have a title, maybe it's a process. Okay, this one is department, customer service, maybe. Okay, and so on. So you can insert all this one. Okay, so we go for the next tools. Go to insert. Okay, go to insert. I try with choose with the fishbone to identify the potential causes. Okay, I just proceed with the 4S, click and then create. Okay, I go back, insert, you choose fishbone. Okay, maybe we choose the FS and then you click create. So you get the 4S fishbone. Okay, so in this one, so maybe our effect, if a cycle time, okay, cycle time maybe. And then for your information, for the fishbone, we have three consists of the three effect here. We have affinity. We consider that when to affinity, and then we call it the cause or sub causes. You can see that we have. After that, I will show how to do this one. Okay. And then if let's say you want to this one, you don't want, so you just right click where you want to want, and then you delete. Okay, so no, just proceed with this one. Okay, so you can delete one by one, or also you can add, for example here, after you click, okay, so you click here, so you can get this one. So I don't want this one. Okay. And then if let's say the first thing you have the, you need go for the data entry. Okay, data entry. Okay, so maybe here is sales. Okay, your potential here is maybe is a shipping. Okay, shipping and so on. So you can add, or you have like something like you can type and then you can drag or into this fishbone. Okay, you can drag or you can add. You can drag or you can type it into this box. For example, here is, let's say I choose the this one. Okay, so you can see that. So after you drag, you can see that the yellow color. So insert here. So you have this one is a back. Okay, so you can see that this one is for S. Okay, or you can import from X variables because we already have a data inside there. So you just create here. Click OK. So you can see that this one is a credit card. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here. Okay, so you can see that the credit card. This one is an import variable available if let's say you are ready during do the process map, you insert that data set. So you can share with the others form. Okay. And then let's say here is this one, your Y here, and then you click OK. So you get the confirmation order. Maybe here. Okay. Sorry. Maybe here. So you can get the confirmation order. Okay. So during to the fishbone, we have a three type of the fishbone. Whether you are for ideal map, okay, consider that as ideal map, or you want go for the city tree, so you can manipulate all this one. Okay, so different layout for this one. Okay, for example, let's say you want to add the other sibling, so you just put here sibling. Okay, so you consider that this one have the child, so it just is a child here. So if let's say you have a sibling for the affinity, you just go there and then sibling. So they can add for you. Okay, so this one is the fishbone diagram. Okay, for the second term. Okay, fishbone diagram. Okay, so for the next tools inside the workspace, we call it form. But in the form, we have a lot of tools inside the form. We consider that this one is a form. Okay, because you can customize after this. Okay, for example, here I have a C animatrix. I proceed with the C animatrix. Okay, C animatrix. So we go for C animatrix and then you create. So you can see that this one is a C animatrix. Okay, so different tools you create have different layout in this one. Okay, if let's say you can uh, see that if let's say I choose CN so we have the design, fill out. Okay, so if let's say I choose the 5S, okay, this one is considered that brainstorm tools. So you can see that you can make X variables and so on. It's a different layout for the menu. Okay, so if let's say process, you can see that this one. Okay, so I go for the CN metric. So CN metric, we consider that as a form. So that's why you can customize all this one. So for example, it's a design. You don't want, or you want to add something like picture in your company logo, something that one. So for example, here I just proceed with this one. Okay, I want to proceed with the picture. Okay, so picture, I want to just proceed with the basic logo inside there. So once you inside the picture, so you go for the fill out. Okay, you can see that inside that one, you can get the icon of our logo. Okay, so if let's say you're not satisfied with all this one, so you go for design again. Okay, so you can add. Okay, you can add, you can remove all that kind of the customization you can get for the form. Okay, so you don't want, you fill out this one. And then for your information, in during the do the form, we have something like keyword. If let's say you're not familiar with the C animatic, what is a C animatic? How to do? Okay, so we have something like instruction. Okay, below there. Okay, so what is the purpose of the CN metric? Okay, what is the step? Inside the symmetry, we have the output. We need to have the importance of each output to the customer. Okay, so under process map activity, so you have something like the scale, you have a no impact, little impact, it's a moderate impact, and then we have the status or critical or potential or elimination. So they give it something like idea before you proceed what is a CM metric. So same goes if let's say I go for the insert again, I go for the form, and then I choose the FMEA. Okay, FMEA. So FMEA, we have for design for the process. Okay, so let's say I go process with the design. So you create this one, FMEA. So we have a OCC. So OCC, RPM, all this one, they calculate for you. Okay, just proceed with this one only. Okay, so what is the purpose of the FMEA? To identify the cause of failure and evaluate the risk associated with the each causes. Okay, and then they have OCC, they have VDT, RPN. So all this one, okay, they calculate for you for the RPM side. Okay, but today I not go for the FMEA. I just proceed with the CN metric. For example, here I want to this one. They provide you whether you want to create the new X variable or you can select existing X variable since we already insert the X variables. So for example here, I just proceed with this one first. I go for this one, click here and then you click OK. So you can see that we already call back for this X variable. So go back to this one is I want to create, okay, because we just only have one. So we go for the multiple row. How many multiple row? I just proceed with the 4. Okay, click OK. So for example here, I have another one is email. This one is baking sleep. Okay. This one is the order form. This one is a printer. Okay, so I have another Y here. Okay, want to create first one. Go that one, click OK and click OK. Okay, for example here I have a shipping database. Okay, and here is a sales database. Here I have this one is accurate the form. Okay, so I have important here. So for example here I have 9. Here is one is the 8. This one is a 9. Okay, so for example here I put here is 8. This one is the 1. Okay, so you can see that they calculate for you. This one is considered F8. This one is 5. Sorry, 5. This one is 7. Okay, so you just put inside here only 7. Okay, this one, this one. Okay, 9, 9, and 9. This one is 3, 6. Okay. Okay, so they calculate all this one weighted effect of each this one weighted except for the input. So already attached with the Pareto chart. Okay, so no worries about this one. So they calculate for you. You just include all this one. Okay, so this one is how CN metric inside the Minitab Workspace. Okay. So we go for the next tools inside the Minitab Workspace is go back to insert. We have a Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, Monte Carlo simulation. I think I go back for this one first. Okay, this one. Okay, Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, this one is Monte Carlo simulation is quantitative analysis. Okay, they account for the risk and uncertainty of a system by including the variables in the input. The system may be a new product, maybe manufacturing line, finance and business activity and so on. Okay, Monte Carlo simulation use repeated random sampling to simulate data for a given mathematical models and evaluate and optimize the outcome. So if let's say you are ready for R&D, maybe you already do it like something like DOE, you already have the model. So if let's say you want to proceed all that analysis, you need go for the Monte Carlo simulation. Since you already have the model, let's say y equal to y, okay, y equal to 10x plus something. So that one is, we call it the model. So if let's say you have that kind of the model, so you can proceed with the Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, so this one is example the output if let's say you're using the Monte Carlo simulation site. Okay, I will show. For example, I have one case study here. I need to suppose to investigate the time to complete similar construction project, which is my model is a project time, okay, equal to proposal plus with scoping plus with execution and then plus with the delivery. So this one is we consider that the X, our X is input, proposal, scoping, execution, or delivery. Okay, so all this input, you need to identify the distribution for every input here. Okay, so once you already have distribution, you can do it the Monte Carlo simulation using the Minitab Workspace. Okay, I go back to this one. Okay, I go back to the workspace again. Okay, you can see that if let's say I go to insert, I go for a Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, you can see that this one is a defined. For based on that situation, I have a models. My model is let's say project time. Okay, our Y project time. Okay, our equation is which is the proposal plus with the scoping, okay, plus with the execution, plus with the delivery. Okay. So for example here, you need to include all this one. Is a proposal. Okay, our proposal is the uniform distribution. Okay, so our lower is day, upper is 2 days. Sorry, 0.5. This one is 2. Okay, so if let's say you ask me how to know what is distribution of proposal, so maybe you can using our flagship product Minitab certificate software. So inside there you can checking what is the distribution of your input variables. Okay, proposal scoping is the triangular is the and another one is the execution. Okay, the triangular also. This one is 3. This 24. Another one is the delivery. This number 5, 1.5. Okay, so you already have your equation here. So already put here. Okay, sorry, you have a 4 input and then you have Y. Your Y is a project time. Okay, and then you see that if let's say you won't go for this one, so for example, the default setting for workspace, we consider that 50K. Okay, so you go for simulate. Okay, so you can see that this one is the simulation site. Okay, the main here. And then if let's say they suggest to you is the next step to obtain the CPK and percentage of spec, you need to provide specification limit for project time. Without specification limit, you cannot perform parameter optimization. So we go back to this one. So you see that, sorry, this one, okay. So they needed the specification limit. So lower spec maybe 7 days. Upper spec maybe 30 days. Okay. So, so if let's say you include the specification, so you can see that based on the specification limit, your CPK is 0.3. It's a lower than 1.33. So we say that this one is not good one. So our spec from this one is 60%. Okay, from this one. So after you can go for the parameter optimization. So you go for parameter optimization. So let's say you consider that this one is lower one, maybe one, height one, maybe 5. Okay, for each one. This one is the lower one, maybe 2. Okay, the height one 5. Okay, execution maybe 10, maybe 15. Okay, so this one is the delivery, maybe 3. Okay, maybe 7. So you change the optimization. Okay. So your process performance, your CPK still lower from the 0.133, and then if let's say we consider that that one is not capable, but you can see that your spec is already decreased from the previous one is 60%. This one is only 2%. So you can see that how Monte Carlo do this one. Okay. Or you can go for another one is we have a sensitivity analysis. Okay, so maybe you want to change it only 5%. Okay, so you want to simulate for the proposal only. So you can see that this one is stay quite okay. This one is this one. Okay, so you can manipulate all this one. So because you want to get the best setting for each the input. Okay, so we try to simulate what happened because let's say you want to proceed with the experimental is about costing. So that's why we propose of another step is you can see that you can using the Monte Carlo simulation. If let's say you already have a models for your process from your process optimization. Okay. Okay, so you need to go for define, you need go for review the result, you need perform the parameter optimization, and then you can perform the sensitivity analysis inside the Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, so we have a new tools, let's say Gemba work. Okay, and then we have a new tools inside the form. We consider that SWOT analysis is strength, your weakness, your opportunities, your trait. So may help you okay to start. And then another new tools inside form is impact versus effort matrices. Okay, and then we also have a FMEA. We have a process. We have the design. Okay, so if let's say you follow the AIG standard, so you can go for the new AIG standard for the FMEA, and then a new AIG standard for DFMEA. Okay, so after you do the all this form, okay, all this form, okay, for example, this one, sorry, we go for the symmetry, okay. Basically, you can export, you can save it. Okay, you can export to PDF, you can save to your local, or you can save to your database. Okay, for example, here, go to file. You can see that we have export here. Okay, so you can create the PDF. Okay, for example, I go for this one, is the CM metric. Okay, so I just proceed with the desktop one. So save it. So they import to the so I go for desktop. So this one, desktop, symmetry. So they give it save in the PDF file. Okay, so they can save it to PDF file, or you can save it to Words, or you can send to the PowerPoint. But for the CSV file, if let's say the form is not include the calculation, they not provide the CSV file. For example, if let's say you go for the simulation part, you want to see that 50K simulation, so you can create a CSV file. If let's say you go for the Monte Carlo simulation, you want to know what is the first data they create for you, second data they create for you, so you can create a CSV file. Or you can save it as a project. So you can browse where you want to save it. Or you can save, let's say you already have put here is your icon or our others customization. So you just file, you can go for the save as. Okay, so you want to save where you want to save it. And then for your information also, you have something like data definition. So each one is for the project one, as I consider the project one. So you want to edit something like project financial total. Okay, you want to edit or you want to delete. Okay, you can customize all this one in data definition for all the those inside there. So or you have a new form, okay, new form. So you can include in here also. Okay, and then you have option. So when you want to save it, okay, your file location, when you want to save it, if let's say you as a group team, so you can go for the group folder or you can go for the initial folder. So based on this one, you can manipulate all this one. And then if let's say you are stuck, okay, what is this one? What is how to do it? You can go for the help button. Okay, so all this one is applicable inside the Minitab Workspace. Okay, go back to this one. Okay, you can save it. Okay, you can import to PDF, CSV file. You can send to the Microsoft Office or PowerPoint. So I think no, this one. So for example, I go for the process map. Okay, send it to you. You can see that right click, you can see that send to Word, send to PowerPoint. So I go so far to PowerPoint. Okay, so this one, this one. Okay, so I already sent to the PowerPoint. Okay, and then I go back to this one. PDF already save it to the PDF file. Just save, create CSV file, send to Office. Okay, so this one is a quite popular question regarding our customer. Okay, because if let's say you are familiar with the companion, maybe the, Workspace is the desktop application before this. Okay, so the differences between Workspace and Companion, Companion is a cloud-based continuous improvement management package for project execution, governance, workflow, and dashboard reporting. But Workspace is a desktop application with a comprehensive set of visual tools for better business productivity. Okay, this one is the differences between Companion and Workspace. If let's say you want to do something like dashboard, apps, something that you need go for the companion. Okay, in Workspace we not provide the uh, dashboard apps. Okay, we just focus on the desktop application. Okay, so this one is a summary of the essential visual business tools in one place. Okay, Minitab Workspace enable you to move work forward with the powerful visual tools, process map, brainstorm diagram, and form in one intuitive interface right on your fingertips. Okay, our tools help from the process and identify the opportunity, ultimately making problem easier to solve it. Okay, so do you have any question? Do you have any question? Okay. So I just remind again, inside the workspace, we have a tools. Inside the tools, we have something like, so sorry, before I end this webinar, okay. So inside the workspace, we have something like tools, or we have something like project, okay. So tools or project, but inside the tools, we have process map, we have the multi-core simulation, we have the form, okay, we have the something like fishbone, okay. Inside the project, we have the roadmap. Okay, inside the roadmap, we have the pages. Inside the page, we have a tools. Okay, and then this one is the, you can save it. You can save it to PDF. You can send to the mini PowerPoint. You can send to the words to do the reporting purpose maybe. Okay. Yes, this one workspace is the for desktop version. Okay, workspace only for desktop version. For if let's say you're looking for apps, okay, dashboard, you need go for the others product. We call it companion. Okay, this question. Okay, if let's say you have a question, you can type in question box. Okay. If let's say I don't have any time to answer in this webinar, I will email to you. Okay, after finish our webinar. Okay, so I think if let's say doesn't have any question, okay, you want to learn more about the Minitab Workspace, maybe you can contact us by visit our website www.minitab.com or www.bizits.com, or you can email to us at sales@bizits.com or minitab@bizits.com. Okay, to get tips or tricks on our Minitab product, please follow us through media social like Facebook and link at Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. And then don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel to access back our previous webinar. Okay, thanks and stay safe.